Hi, the topic of this video lesson is functions y is equal to sine of x, y equal to cosine of x, their properties and graphs. Let's start with sine. Let's consider the function y is equal to the sine of x. We have defined a sine function for any argument. Accordingly, the domain of this function will be the entire number line R. We have considered the property sine of minus x is equal to minus sine of x. Then we can say that our function is odd. Let me remind you that an odd function, its graph is symmetrical with respect to the beginning. The function y is equal to the sine of x is limited. We know that the sine is less than 1 and greater than minus 1. And we need to clarify that minus 1 and 1 are the largest and smallest values. Also, the function y is equal to the sine of x is continuous, and it is periodic. Its period is 2 pi, because remember that every 2 pi values are repeated on a circle. Let's try to build the graph. We know some values at certain points. We'll use them. When x is equal to 0, sine is equal to 0, so the function passes through the origin. Pi 2, we know that the function takes the value 1. The value is 0 at point pi. At the point 3 pi by 2, we'll have minus 1. And at the point 2 pi, we get 0 again. We know that the value at point pi by 4 is the square root of 2.5, approximately here. We can similarly put some values on other gaps and connect it all with a smooth line. Now, we know that our function is periodic with a period of 2 pi, so it repeats with every 2 pi. Then, starting from this point, the function will look exactly the same and go to infinity. Likewise, in this direction. That is, it goes in waves, so to speak. Such a straight line is called a sinusoid. As you can see, we can highlight the areas where the function increases, from 0 to pi and half, those areas where it happens, and so on. Now let's move on to the cosine. The function y is equal to cosine x is in many ways similar to sine. Its domain of definition is also the entire number line. The only thing is that the cosine of x is an even function. We remember that the cosine of minus x is equal to the cosine of x, so the graph is symmetrical with respect to the y-axis. The function is also continuous. It is also periodic. The same period t is equal to 2 pi. It is also limited from minus 1 to 1. Moreover, minus 1 and 1 are largest and smallest values. Let's try to build a graph. As in the case of the sine, we'll plot a segment from 0 to 2 pi, and then we just continue in both directions with the period. We know that the cosine of 0 is 1. The cosine of pi divided in half is 0. The cosine of pi is minus 1. Cosine of 3 pi in half is 0, and the cosine of 2 pi is 1 again. Then we can connect it with a smooth line. We got this curve. Now, using the fact that the function is periodic, we can continue it infinitely, to the right and left. Pay attention that this curve looks exactly like the curve for sine. This curve is called a cosinusoid, and it is essentially the same curve, only offset with respect to the y-axis. This video lesson is over.